Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? I wanted to give you guys a little bit more insight into what me and Sean are going through, okay? Because the last time I put out a video on the update of this lawsuit that my husband and I are going through, quite a few of you said, well, I want to know the parent side of the story and this, that, and the other. Okay, fine. That's fine. I have some voicemails that my father had left for my husband. And, you know, trigger warning, you guys are going to get triggered, okay? Because of how nasty my father truly is. Their side of the story, okay. We were gifted the land that my house sits on. We were gifted 3 lots. They were in the will, okay, my father's will, but he gave them to us early. And I said, okay, great. You know, we were going to have a new house built on them, but we found out that there were sinkholes on the lots and they were deemed unbuildable. So we were able to get rid of them. There was a company that buys sinkhole lots, and I don't know if they like try to redeem like the lots or whatever. Maybe they, you know, are able to fix them. I don't know. But we got rid of them. And so that's what we did. You know. And so my parents flipped out. They said, how dare you? You embezzled money from us. And I said, how did we embezzle money from you? They were a gift. You even signed them over to us. You took your name off the deed, put our name on the deed. They were ours. I have proof of this. Then 5 years later, you come back and said, well, now we want them back. Sorry. There's also something called statute of limitations when it comes to the sale of something, especially when it comes to real estate. So my parents, okay, as of like 3 weeks ago, my parents were supposed to, well, their lawyer, let me just say that, they were supposed to respond to my lawyer. Still haven't heard anything. They were supposed to, because they're coming back with all of these outrageous sums of money saying that this is what we owe them. Well, my lawyer said, well, since this is what you're saying, I want proof. I want receipts saying that this is what you are, you know, I want receipts to back up your claims. They can't provide those receipts. And my parents are getting pissed, because we were able to provide 20 years worth of receipts to back up everything that we were saying, but they cannot provide their receipts on their end. And they're getting upset. They're getting pissed. So, which in turn means they're not going to receive what they want. So, there's a lot more to this story, but listen to these voicemails real quick, okay?
Yes, Sean, I'll leave you a message. But keep one thing in mind. Unless we are reimbursed by you in some manner by the end of this month, we are taking you to court criminally, and then we're going to go in civil court and sue you as well. You're not going to get fucking away with what you did to us. Yeah, Sean. All right, once again, your fucking mother, you better tell her to calm the fuck down. She's going to court too because she denies every fucking thing, the lies that you have told us for years regarding your delay in going to build on the lots we had turned over to you to do so. She says you're a fucking liar. Now, I want fucking answers, and I want this fucking thing resolved, because next month you'll all be in fucking court, and I want to see each of you point the fucking finger at the other. But you motherfucker, you and your wife aren't going to get a fucking way of embezzling that fucking money from us. You fucking little faggot.
So with those two voicemails, okay. Now you can hear how Sean and I have been spoken to, okay. But that's not the end of it. My husband was sent emails. Every time my husband would go outside to check the mail, mow the lawn, whatever the case may be, he would get an email with a picture of himself checking the mail, mowing the lawn, going out to his car for some reason, getting in his car to leave for work, getting out of his car, coming home from work, and it would be some cryptic kind of message, like the first card has fallen. Then physical letters were sent through the mail, through USPS, to my husband's work, through Homeland Security, to family members, with information that just didn't seem like relevant. It was very strange. And in those voicemails, you heard him speak about my mother-in-law. He didn't actually speak to my mother-in-law. He called her 20 times in 18 minutes. She picked up the phone, she hung it up. She did this 20 times in 18 minutes. She didn't actually speak to him. She doesn't like my father. She's never liked my father in the 30 years that she's known him. Because my father carries himself as in, he's up here and everybody else is down here. Okay? And so she's never liked him. He gives off bad vibe, and I understand that. So then the weird stuff started happening even more. Our house was listed for sale on Craigslist for $60,000. But the weird thing is that they put their phone number down instead of mine. And I started getting text messages and phone calls. And I said, my house isn't for sale. I don't know where you're getting this information from. And they said, well, I called this one phone number and they gave me your phone number to call. And I said, well, where did you even get information at that my house was for sale? And they said, oh, it was on Craigslist. I said, well, can you send me? I said, is this your cell phone number? They said, yeah. I said, okay, can you send me a screenshot of the ad? So they did. And I got this repeatedly over and over and over again. So my husband, Sean, got a hold of Craigslist. And they not only took the ad down, but they, I don't know if they blocked, canceled, whatever, my father's account, like his email address, so he can't post anymore. Because my father used not just his email address, but his phone number and his real name. Then he started posting our address and our home for sale on the dark web. So we had people showing up at our house every single day wanting a tour of the house that's for sale. Now, meanwhile, my husband works 15 hours a day. I'm home by myself. So I'm like, what's going on? So Meanwhile, I won't walk around my house unless I have my piece on me, because I never know who the hell's going to show up now. Then I get scammers calling me because of our house that gets listed on the dark web. And I actually got a few of these scammers to work along with me. And they gave me all the information and the websites on the dark web that my house was listed on. And they were in turn able to take the listing down somehow, because I told them what was really going on. And I'm sending, as this is all happening, I'm sending all of this information to my lawyer. And we're going. And it's not stopping, okay? And then the phone calls start constantly, every single day, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. I'm calling about your house that's for sale. My house isn't for sale. Oh, well, that's what this ad says on Zillow, on this website, that website, this website, that website. What are you talking about? My house isn't for sale. So the charges keep adding up against my father. And I said to my lawyer, regardless of how this pans out, win or lose on our side, I'm going after him criminally. She said, well, let's see how this pans out. I said, okay, fine. Because we do have a window. We have like a 3-year window, 4-year window, something like that, for these criminal charges. And because I have all the receipts to back everything up, especially I have video because of the surveillance cameras around my house of all the people showing up constantly. Can I take a tour of the house that's for sale? What? So you can see why Sean and I are so crazy all the time like this. But you wanted to know my parents' side of the story? Well, you got to listen to my father speak. This is not easy. It hasn't been easy for over a year. But like I said, they can't produce receipts like I can. They're claiming that they've sunk their life savings into my home. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. We've sunk our life savings into this home. They haven't sunk shit. No one really knows, okay, the depths that this man will go to. And you know, he even admitted to his lawyer, which in turn told my lawyer, who in turn told me, that before he dies, because my father's in his 80s, as you know, that he needs to have a place for his daughter to live. Not meaning me. I've got 3 other sisters. His daughter, who is in her early 60s, who's a couch hopper. She's never worked a day in her life. She dates older, richer men to get what she wants, including liposuction, enhancements, injections, and the like. Yeah. Has a history of arrests for being a high-end prostitute. Substance abuse. My husband actually had to arrest her. Yeah. In Tampa. Yeah, that was fun. Getting that call at 2:30 in the morning saying, I just had to arrest your sister. Yeah. For downing an entire bottle of Dom Perignon in public. Yeah. That was fun. And this is the one who I was going to lose my home to because she can't get on her own 2 feet after how long of being on this earth? But yet Sean and I became homeowners when we were 25 and 26. She has 3 children that don't want nothing to do with her. And they were all taken away by the fathers. But enough about her. So, there's a lot more to this story, and as soon as I hear back from my lawyer, I will update you guys once again. Okay? You guys stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less and God bless. Ciao.